Hello and welcome to Virtually There. My name is Graham. In today's episode, when is an NFT not an NFT? Let's go. So, when is an NFT not an NFT? Well, firstly, it's important to consider what the downsides are to utilizing NFTs in any industry for any purpose. This can really be put into two different categories. Category number one is negativity towards the concept of NFTs through a combination of misunderstanding and bad actors within the NFT industry. And the second category is basically the confusion as to what non-fungible even means. It's not really a friendly term for the general public. However, we all know that the power of these wonderful blockchain tokens is the utility that is added into them, because it's the utility that gives the NFT its power and gives the NFT its use case and its value to the end user. In my opinion, in New Frontier's opinion, NFTs are not about the floor price, they're not about the hype, they're not about the art that goes into showing the image in the token. It's about what ultimately can the end user do. Now, in tourism, we have coined a new phrase for NFTs, which is the Living Souvenir. Why have we done that? Because souvenir is an industry term everybody can understand, and the living part fits very well with the concept of utility. So how is an NFT a living souvenir? Well, let me give you an example. And for those of you who have looked at or been given access to our Metaverse playbook, this example will sound extremely familiar, the suit of armour example. So I go to the Battle of Bannockburn in Scotland. I find out about the warfare, I find out about the historical significance of this battle in the War of Independence for Scotland against England, and I'm particularly interested in certain aspects of warfare. In particular, I'm interested in armoury and how armoury played a part in the protection of soldiers in warfare. Now, that might not be what floats everybody's boat, but there are people who particularly like armoury. Okay, so in this example, I collect an NFT of armoury. Now, we could argue what kind of image that is, if it's 3D, if it's spinning, if it's animated. Point is, it represents armour. Why is it a living souvenir? Well, the utility we can add to that gives that NFT life. So, for example, you could have that armor represented as a wearable for avatars in virtual worlds and games. You could say that because you have that particular token, that token acts as a gateway to additional content related directly to armory. In other words, you are personalizing the journey for the visitor by giving them content directly related to the token that they have chosen to scan, buy, win, regardless of whichever the mechanism is for them getting it. You can also use that token as a gateway to events in the virtual world. Maybe there's going to be a specific society created around the Battle of Bannockburn, and you've got a base in Decentraland for this, and you want to create ticketing style scenarios where entry to VIP events is related to whether you've collected a token and been in the real world first. It could be that your living souvenir is recognized at a real-world battle reenactment, which do exist for things like the Battle of Bannockburn, and it entitles you to go and wear armour as part of visiting that battle reenactment. Now, whether that wearing is free or you're entitled to a discount, again, that's the mechanism. So why is it a living souvenir? Well, it's a souvenir of your visit to the Battle of Bannockburn experience, but it's also a gateway to other experiences, which makes it living. Now, is it easier to sell the idea of a living souvenir over using NFTs? Absolutely. But the fact is, the utility, the point of a living souvenir is exactly the same as the point and the features of an NFT. It's just easier to think of it as a living souvenir. So, are there ways that other industries, including gaming, could reframe NFTs so that they become, first of all, we get away from the stereotype because it's now something different, and second, that we can create this utility and this experience without having to refer to the original name of what it is. You know, I think it's a little bit, let me think of the words here. I think it's a little bit kind of uncreative to just keep referring to an NFT as an NFT. That's what it is. But what we should be marketing to people is what it represents and what it does. So it's a living souvenir. It's a multi-game portal, access portal. That's what an NFT really is in gaming. It's the opportunity to use that object across gaming platforms. So let's, in some cases, take some of the stigma away from NFTs and frame what we're doing with our NFTs in such a way that A, it's understandable, and B, it takes away from this, it's just about price, it's about creating artificial scarcity. These are all things that I have seen in articles about NFTs over the last few days, these phrases. And the fact is what I've described to you for the Battle of Bannockburn has nothing to do with the price of the token. It's irrelevant to the experience. There is no artificial scarcity. In the example I gave, every single time a group takes the battle reenactment game, they could be getting access to these tokens, even free. So what I'm trying to convey here is that we can use phraseology and utility as a way of getting away from the stereotypes of NFTs. So I'd be interested, for those of you developing NFTs, whether you think this is a way forward and what you think about NFTs being represented as living souvenirs in New Frontier. Okay, there we go. Thank you for watching, and like and subscribe if this is the kind of content you want. If you like listening to me talk about stuff for 10 minutes, like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye!